What's up, boys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
How are we?
Spider-Man in the house.
Well done, Josh.
Dear me.
Hey, fellas.
James Rodriguez, he used to have that celebration. Dear quality.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, how you boys doing?
Very well, thank you. Saving lives.
Really good.
Mate, I'm good.
Really good.
Excellent. So yeah, welcome everybody to our stream today on Talk Football. This is going to be one of our new segments called The Lounge. We would be just talking about what's happening during the week, and then we would be most probably doing a couple of streams a week just talking about what's happening in football, Champions League, in the Premier League, and so on and so forth. Just general chat between friends and whatnot. There will be more people coming in and out of the stream. So yeah, that's the whole idea about it, just to keep it light, breezy, and simple. As always, no echo chambers. Anybody is welcome for any of their thoughts. If you want to say something, just come on chat, or just let us know what you think. And yep, let me first introduce everybody on here. We got Bavarian Red repping Bayern Munich today. We got Josh all the way from down under repping Manchester United, who aren't doing that well these days. And then we got Dan, who is flying high at the moment.
Oh, dearie me. 30 years we've waited, Anthony. 30 years. And now we've made it. We're here. We're not going anywhere.
Only one team remembers doing well at the
It's
moment.
hell, isn't it? It's hell. Josh's face, he's getting flashbacks.
I'm in a cold sweat. I'm in a cold sweat every damn night, you bastards.
You know something? I am smiling because the only other emotion that I have is crying. I don't want to do it in front of people, so yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
now
at least
you're
you're
crying
not
into
me.
a pillow. It's not good content, I'm afraid. It's not good content.
All you guys have got something to smile about. I'm sitting here going, yep, we got one of the best teams in the world, player for player, but we're fucking shit.
We get it.
That sums it up.
Yep, it does. So I just wanted to start off with the Champions League games, Dan, this week, Josh, and it's what do you think about this Real Madrid versus Manchester City game? For me, it was very, very interesting the way the game panned out. I just thought City was just going to roll them over and be done with it, go into the weekend, cool, calm, collected, try to rotate some players, then get ready for the next week game. That's what I was thinking about. However, the game ended 4-3, and it's not going to be as easy as it is, because they're going back to the Bernabeu, and that's a tough place for anybody to go and try to get something out of. So and
Just
Real
ask Chelsea.
Madrid. Yeah, exactly. Just ask us. It is what it is. But
You see, for me, I've got the opposite opinion on that one. Before this happened, me and Jamie, the Bavarian Red, were talking about this when the draw was done, and we were quite surprised at how fans were playing down how good Real Madrid are. And I thought, am I missing something? Am I like, has something happened at Real Madrid that I'm not seeing, shall we say? Because I looked at that draw and went, Real Madrid's no walkover. These boys know how to play in the Champions League. No matter where they are, off the field, on the field, they've just got players like, say, Luka Modric, for example, 36 years of age, probably should be past his prime, and he's out there playing 9 out of 10 games. And you can just never write these guys off. And that's when I looked at that City game and I thought, well, City have been perpetually a club who has failed in the Champions League. Tottenham semi-finals, the final against Chelsea where they were big favourites and they should have won it, on paper, and I think everyone thought that was going to be the case. And they're coming up against a team who's gone on and won it 13 times, and that little bit of know-how, it's so undervalued, I think, by some fans. So for me, I wasn't shocked. I was more shocked by how quickly City took the lead. I think that was the biggest shock for me. I thought it'd be closer, maybe 1-0, maybe 2-1. I didn't expect 4-3 at all. Did see that coming.
Hey, see, I saw actually thinking it was going to be a pretty even game. I mean, Ancelotti at Madrid, the players that they have in their team, while some would say they're overachieving, I think they're pretty much on course to where they should be. And I mean, City sort of have this mantra: they'll throw everything at a team, especially when it's a big game like that. Pep is the what is it the cliche overthinker. Like he wanted the game dead and buried as early as possible. City probably just got comfortable, and when you've got Benzema in the form he's in, you can never rule them out. That's the long and short of it. I mean, he's in Ballon d'Or contention. He's doing what Lewandowski was doing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So but he's a more techie player. I think there's a big chance Madrid could possibly probably pop a 2-1 or a 3-1 or something next game and knock him out. At least, fingers crossed, that's what they do from a Red fan.
And it only does take two chances, isn't it? When you got somebody as lethal as Benzema up front, he just needs two half chances, and he's just gonna convert it. Like he's in that type of form at the moment, so it's gonna be very interesting. Like it like just look at the Chelsea game, right? Chelsea should have played City in the semi-final in all accounts, like the way we played everything. But that mentality of Real Madrid, that never say die attitude, or that been there, done that mentality of things, where Luka Modric just outside of the foot that assists towards Rodrigo, and he just goes, and they just somehow know how to get it done. What do you have to say about that, Josh? So, you must be a bit gutted as well. You should have been facing Liverpool this as well. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah, Jamie. Where was Bayern Munich, by the way? That's my question. Where were you guys? Did you not get the invite?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, mate, totally. Like, we just, we're like the big bad wolf, mate. We huffed, we puffed, we couldn't blow the house down, mate. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. It's embarrassing.
I heard they're still at the they're still looking for their boarding passes to actually get their mentality over in the game with them. They're still left behind a couple of weeks.
Oh, mate. But this is the thing, like, just watching the Liverpool Villarreal game. I just looked at Liverpool, the way they literally, were patient. They mixed up their play. They didn't just spam crosses in. Didn't just kept doing the Hollywood pass. The way they just took the time and just mixed up the play in that, I was just like, Julian, there's one thing about Villarreal you don't do is cross the ball. Don't drag defenders left and right. And to be honest, mate, it just made me just angry even more, the fact that we just couldn't beat this Villarreal team, man. But they're in the semi-final and they are where they are. Do you know what I mean? So
Villarreal haven't really played that well, though. When you really look at their performances, it's just been they've just been squeezing the life out of them and just getting a lucky goal. I haven't seen too much class play from them. It's shithousing their way through.
Yeah, but then that's what I feel like. But this is what I feel like. Like Villarreal are doing what they're supposed to be doing to the best of their ability. This is what I feel like. It's they are not here to play flashy football and win a game. They're here to win a game, full stop. That's it. They're just here to defend for their lives. And I think maybe Nagelsmann actually took the game a little bit more easy. Maybe just thought it might be a given or something of that sort. Because it was a shock to me, like one of the biggest shocks, like in this year's Champions League, to be honest. Like it is what it is. But what do you think might happen in the Bernabeu, guys?
I think with the Bernabeu, I think it's an interesting one because it kind of goes on to what today's games have some importance to that game. Anyway, the Leeds team that City are going to play this afternoon, 5:30 UK time, they know they can't go into this game and just expect a hiding. They will have looked at that City team and they'll take a little bit of heart from the fact that Real had to play 90 full minutes of football. There was no break. There was no slowdown in the play. It was a constant game of back and forth, attack, goal, concede, score. It was mentally, I think it was a draining game for them. I think that, and they will look at that and go, we're at Ellen Road. We know that we're in a relegation fight. So Leeds have got a game today, which is going to be really important to them. So taking away from that, the City players, I would genuinely believe that they would be disappointed coming away from the Etihad with just a 1-goal lead, knowing that they're going to come to the Bernabeu. And it's how do you approach the game at the Bernabeu? Do you go with the same tack that they went at the Etihad, which was, all out attack, come and, kind of attack them early, try and get a couple of goals in the first half? Or does the occasion get to them and do they try and defend that 1-0? Because this is real pressure now. This is a make or break game for them. That if they get it wrong, and if Pep gets it wrong, that will be, this season will be an abject failure. Even if they do go on and win a Premier League, they are by far up there with the 1 or 2 strongest teams in world football. Looking at this Real Madrid team that everybody wrote off, looking at the Chelsea team who've gone through a little bit of problems this season. They're not in the form that they were maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah,
they would have looked at even their side of the draw and gone, do you know something? This is a straight to the final, and we'll play Liverpool or Bayern Munich. That would have been what they would have thought at the point when the balls were drawn. And that's how I thought the situation was going to be. But it's going to be closer than that. And Kyle Walker looks like he's out for the season. Not confirmed. Pep is known for playing sort of games when it comes to injuries. Yep. And that would be a massive loss. Vinicius Jr. was having so much joy down that left-hand side.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? Like, that's what I was just thinking as well, because today's game, Liverpool could just go all out for today's game and just rest midweek.
Yeah.
2-goal lead. Villarreal is not going to particularly attack as well. Just, chill out and do what they have to do. Like, for me, I think Liverpool has like one leg in the final already, but City's one is a very, very difficult one to call, because I still think, I don't know, I just have this weird feeling that Real is going to make it to the final. It's nothing to do with City being a bad team or whatever it is of that sort. It's just that they know how to win these types of games because they have done it 13 times.
And you look at the manager they've got in there. This is Carlo Ancelotti. This is his competition. The man's been to more finals than probably anybody in world football as it stands. He knows what it means.
Exactly.
I think I think the result for City is very, very dependent on this Leeds game and what they do with their squad, because yes, they have a deep squad, but they will want to have their strongest 11 possible out there for the second game. It's hostile territory; they're away, and if Leeds are if he's going to try and keep that same 11, like it'll be a struggle. I'm not sure. Like you might see a Gundogan and someone else in the midfield, and then maybe have your De Bruyne come on at the end of the game or something, just to change it up and keep it fresh. But he may. The pressure may come to him. He may just want to choose his strongest team each and every time because he can't afford to drop points or lose a game from this point. So it's there's a big question mark over that Leeds game.
Yeah.
Well, there's a funny sub story to that, isn't there? In the game, it was sort of brushed over the fact that John Stones went off injured in that first half.
Yeah,
when we say that City, we used to always talk about City having like 2 possible 11s. City A team and City B team will probably finish both in the top 4. I looked at that bench, and it wasn't filling me with confidence. There was Raheem Sterling on the bench, Ilkay Gundogan on the bench, but really there was a lot of young players, and they're not the people you can rely on when it comes to semi-finals. It's great to have them come in for League Cups and lower division Premier League matches, but right now you need your strongest 11, and having a few injuries. Pep's well known for being a bit of an overthinker when it comes to injuries, so who knows? I think there's still some surprises to come.
Yep, Edison
Yeah,
playing in
definitely.
midfield maybe next
Yeah,
winter. You never know.
Deadpan up front. It's always a
you know what I
possibility.
mean, man.
You never know. He might do that.
They might bring back the old sweeper. I think he might play as an extra centre back and just play a sweeper role for the rest of the
You
season.
never know. He
Yeah,
does these
like
types
a
of
Lothar Matthäus type of player.
random things. But coming into something more positive towards Dan. Dan has been a very very happy man this whole week. He got some excellent news regarding Jurgen Klopp, and he just can't stop smiling, isn't it, boys? It's just unbearable, to be honest. But
Oh, can't stand it.
we have to wait.
You see, it's so funny. Like, it's looking at Liverpool, and it's as a Liverpool fan, you don't want to get carried away because we've always been nearly FC. There's so many times Liverpool have been nearly there. We nearly won that league at the Etihad. Salah was a millimetre away from scoring the goal that would have won us that league. And we've come round and we've been there. We went to the final at Real Madrid. Carriers lost 3-1. And now, like, we went on and did that situation. And then when we were going to kick on after winning the Premier League by a canter that season, COVID came round. We got injuries, lost half the team to major injuries. But we're now coming to this season where we didn't start. We started obviously very well because we'd never been outside the top four. But we had a little bit of a blip round Christmas, lost to Leicester, we lost to West Ham, 2 away games where really we should have won the matches. And to say that we're now 1 point away from the top of the table on goal difference, and today we can go top of the league again, I think that goes more to a testament as to how consistent Liverpool have been, but not just on the pitch, but in every department. Like, they've gone out there now, and it's just such clever business to announce a deal extension for Jurgen Klopp before the end of the season. I always believe FSG, with the way they do the business, that it's always got something going on in the background. The Liverpool sort of transfers just seem to happen. They don't drag on and on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks where it's like, oh, they can't agree on this. They seem to kind of go, right, this is the deal. If we get the deal done, it happens. Luis Diaz in January. Liverpool don't sign players in January. The last time we saw besides anyone was Virgil van Dijk that was worth talking about.
Yeah.
And how many years? You feel like he's been at Liverpool forever. And when we signed it, I was sitting there like, we signed players?
Yeah.
We signed players in January.
I think what happened was Tottenham actually opened the door for you guys to actually do it. If they didn't do it, Luis Diaz wouldn't have come in January, mate. I just have that feeling.
Oh no, you're totally right, Anthony. It was the Levy came out and actually made a complaint to FSG about our negotiators, saying that he felt that it was unfair that we came in and swooped and took the deal. I mean, it's a little bit like, you're trying to ask a girl out, and then the guy who's the captain of the football team's just turned up, I'm afraid. He's saying, I'm going to ask you out now. But to be fair, there's so many times that Tottenham has done that to Liverpool. They've had so many players that we were going to sign, and they went and took them. Clint Dempsey was one from Fulham. We were well linked with him. They came in and outbid us. The gentleman who's currently suspended at Everton, his name shall not be mentioned, was stolen by us. He was another player that Liverpool were very well linked with after the Swansea days, and he was taken. And it was just nice for once for that medicine to be going the other way, and that was fantastic.
But I look at it as excellent business being done. Tottenham they want to always scrape for that dollar here, pound there. These types of things. You are playing at it's like a billionaire's club, right? Isn't it? So if they get a little bit of a sniff of something, they're just going to capitalize on it. It's simple as.
But that didn't serve Tottenham very well when they came in and took those players, did it? They didn't get any trophies, they didn't do anything, and Liverpool was still, thereabouts. Tottenham were always sort of mid-table until that point, so,
It was important that Liverpool did what they did, because it shows that intent that, as a club, we have our targets. I've always genuinely believed that if we can talk about, Mo Salah's contract, and if he doesn't leave, and I've said this multiple times on our Discord, that I genuinely believe that there is a plan written up about any situation, that they know that if a player wasn't to be here anymore, that there's a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I know that if the plan that was in place was for Luis Diaz to come into the club in summer, that was well sort of mentioned out. And the fact that the club reacted to that and they saw a very business astute opportunity to go, Tottenham's done all the groundwork, they've done all the negotiating, they brought the price down to the price that was agreed. If I'm led to believe what the Tier 1 say and the in the know said, is that ultimately Liverpool went there and were told by Porto, by the way. Porto said, "Oh, hi, is that FSG? Yeah, this is the deal. Do you want to match it?" And they went, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And that was it. And, he's never going to choose because of the position where Liverpool are. And this is where I've been saying it to a couple of clubs when it comes to transfers coming in the summer. That should let you know that if you're in certain positions, if that player knows that you're interested, they're going to choose you. They want to be involved at the top level. Coming to Tottenham's great. Coming to live in London and play in the Premier League and whatnot. But if you're going to be offered a contract by a club who's going to finals, winning trophies, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer.
And it also talks a lot about, it also shows what Luis Diaz is about as well. He could have easily waited and gone to Tottenham for the same amount of money, no problem at all, right? But he wants to win. He wants to be in that team. It just shows that he is here to do everything in his power to help Liverpool win as well. As a Chelsea fan, I don't like that happening, but I still have to applaud for what it is. And I believe this news of Klopp signing a contract is gonna be massive for players like Salah, for players like Mane, to show them there is gonna be consistency for the next 4 years, that this guy is gonna be the guy for the next 4 years as well.
Most of you should be scared.
You were saying something, Josh?
Be scared.
Well, it is so important. You're right. It's so important that if you're coming to a club or you've about to sign probably the most important deal of your career, your last one. This is what people are saying. It's Salah's last deal. He's come out in a couple of interviews and said it's not just money that's the big deal, the big problem. That's the stumbling block. And you start asking yourself, well, what is it? Is it length of contract? Possibly. Is it 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? That's a question. And then you always have one of the most important, which is overlooked now, because we've seen a turn managers over at clubs very, very regularly now. There's, Klopp is now the longest serving manager in the Premier League. It's 6.5 years. Yep. I mean, could you imagine saying that, 15, 20 years ago? No. People stayed for 10, 15 years almost as a right, unless things are going very, very wrong. But clubs that have been successful are still turning over the managers. Chelsea's gone and won trophies but turned managers over. Bayern Munich as well has turned managers over for certain reasons, even though obviously success of that club is the gold standard within Germany. It's just, I suppose, the nature of football. So when you are signing that contract, being able to say, I know who my boss is going to be, I know that person's going to have me in their plans going forward, and I know that they can get the best out of me as a player, it's a big, big, big influence, I would suggest, at the elite level.
Yep.
Oh, look at me. I'm a successful club with a turnover of managers.
Yeah,
hey, look at me. I'm United. We're at dog breath and we're turning over managers.
Yeah, I actually noticed that Dan did not mention Manchester United in his little, thing there.
Why would you? Why would you? They're dead. We're dead. On the
Manchester with blue, Josh. Manchester with blue.
Oh dear.
Well, see, when you look at the Diaz thing, I think there's also, I didn't hear too much about the story, but I mean, he wanted to go somewhere where he was going to play, actually, get first 10 minutes from the off. Mid-season, you don't go to a club just to go and sit on the bench. Now, who's going to be in front of him at Spurs? Son,
nobody.
Kane, Lucas Moura. He may not have got the time he was looking for.
Not even Steven Bergwijn, mate.
No,
I know, but you think, but I mean, the quality was there. Well, not there for Spurs, but the quality's there, and he's like, well, Firmino's not really doing anything. Jota's more of a bench player, so he almost had a
The bench player who's
there
second
for him.
highest goal scorer in the Premier League, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Don't remind me.
No, do you know what?
he's
Actually,
not
I've got. Funnily enough, I've got a bit of a different thing on that one. I generally thought Diaz going to Tottenham, that was the easy choice. He'd have gone to that team and been able to go straight into that squad.
Yep.
He'd have been like where Kulusevski is right now. He'd have been, it would have been a Luis Diaz or Adama Traore. We all forget those stories that they were in two wingers, one on the left and one on the right. And they ended up with Bentancur and Kulusevski. Now, Kulusevski's has been great. He's been very, very good. But it's very easy to look good in a poor team. In a team that's unable to have, in the last two games, have not had a shot on target. So if Tottenham get a shot on target this weekend, they're doing better than they have been for the last 2 weeks. They had their moments, didn't they? But with Tottenham, that's exactly what they are. They're hot and cold. They have there's no dial. They're just a switch. They're either on it or they're off. And coming to Liverpool and being able to say, do you know what, I'm going to unspur a player like Sadio Mane, who has been part of the furniture at Liverpool, says a lot about him, to say, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to work this hard and I'm going to come on for my debuts. And he's not had a bad game. Like, I don't genuinely believe he's had a game where he's looked like, and it's a bit cliche to say, but you've heard it from a lot of other fans from other clubs and saying, he's like he's been here forever. And he genuinely feels like that. Like he's been a Klopp player for the last 5-6 years.
That's just good scouting, though. They've obviously gone and done their work in the scouting department and said, okay, we need a player that fits this sort of play. And Porto don't play too dissimilar to Liverpool. It's just the standard's a lot lower. So it's like, cause I've seen a couple of games. I'm not going to profess to be a continental genius or anything, but from what I've seen, they like to play that high energy, that get the ball back early and suffocate teams with speed and agility. So he fits it exactly what Klopp's doing. So obviously the scouting department did something proper, and obviously, like you said, they earmarked their man, and then all of a sudden there's a sniff that he's going to go elsewhere, and it's like, well, no, we can't do that. That's what United used to do back when we were actually important.
It's just to like the. That's sorry, Anthony. You go first, mate. You go first.
No. I was actually going to come to you, Jamie, talking because we were talking about transfers. I was just going to ask your thoughts on what was happening about Lewandowski, because that's going to be something interesting for you guys as well, isn't it? Are you going to replace him or something of that sort?
Yeah. See. The thing with Lewandowski, guys, is like I've just we've kind of been like going for the past 8 years. After 2-3 seasons, at Bayern when he first joined. All of a sudden he wants to go. He wants to join Real Madrid. He wants to go to Barca. He wants to, experience a new challenge. All of a sudden we have this big bag of money, and he just was like, right, I'll stay here. I believe you guys can win the Champions League. And to be honest, guys, it does not surprise me. The thing with Bayern, guys, is we are literally FC Hollywood 2.0. Because in the 90s, had all these players on stupid wages, dictating, I want, this much money, look at me with this Adidas here and that. It's just a bit of nonsense, mate, I mean, to be honest, I personally would have liked us to actually, been discussing Lewandowski a new contract sooner, because this whole, let's just put it off to the end of the season kind of thing, it just shows to Lewandowski and his agent Pini Sahara, we're not serious, we're looking to move him on. And I just think it's a big mistake if we don't do anything great at this point. If we sell him and a replacement and it replaces the goals, you know what I mean? We're definitely then going to be like 5th and 6th, in terms of the tier of, winning the Champions League. We might struggle next season, in the Bundesliga as well. The Pokal in recent seasons, we've been knocked out the second round, which is disappointing. So I just basically just want this whole thing, mate, just to, come to some sort of agreement. Either let him go or keep him, because I just can't be arsed if, he's linked with Barcelona, he wants to leave. I'm like, bro, if you want to go, just go. But will the club let him go easily? I don't think so. So,
Yep. No, I get it. I mean,
Once.
I got a deal for you. You can take Lukaku and we'll take Lewandowski. I have no problem.
No,
He's a
mate.
snake oil salesman. Don't trust him.
No,
Don't trust him.
you can take
It doesn't
No,
you can
work.
take
mate.
Cavani, take Edison Cavani. We'll take Lewandowski. We'll look after him. I don't care if he's on
No,
contract,
mate.
off
No,
contract, I should
mate.
say. But no, for serious note,
Bro,
Lewandowski's had the best.
Cavani loves to go on holidays. Lukaku can't go anywhere. So yes, we'll give you
Well,
Lukaku. You can give
Cavani's
us
about that much closer to
Lewandowski.
Uruguay in Germany. He's about that much closer to Uruguay in
Come
Germany.
on,
So,
man. You're taking the mick, ain't you?
Very, very, very
Look at his
well, we
close.
have
injury
to.
record compared to
Lukaku is
Lewandowski's.
Lewandowski's
Lukaku
had the
is
best years of
so
his
good.
career there.
He is so good, bro. You have no idea what you're getting. He is so good. I'm telling you, you'll have the best striker that you'll ever see in the world. And
Come on, man.
yeah,
They'd take
Come on,
they would
man.
take Timo Werner before Lukaku.
Listen, we're
Oh,
throwing so
God.
much disrespect, right, on two players who in previous seasons were absolutely on fire. There's a common denominator here, isn't there, Anthony? Who's the common? It's Chelsea. Chelsea's the problem. It's not the players. It ain't the players. Leipzig, Werner. Wow. Lukaku
Come
into
to
Milan.
Chelsea.
Wow. Ballon d'Or, this was the real Lukaku. Comes to Chelsea. Both of them. I don't believe
There
in
must be something.
coincidences, I'm afraid.
There's something in the water at Chelsea. There is something in the water
It's
at
something in the
Chelsea. I
water.
mean, I hear the women don't put out, and I hear that goals don't happen. So everyone dries up when they move there. So there you go.
I'm telling you now, I'm telling you, it's Thomas Tuchel. There's something going on. I think the man's he's not happy, man.
I think it's just Chelsea. No striker who comes to our club succeeds. It's very rare that you see a striker succeed at Chelsea. And to be honest, Timo Werner's form is down to Timo Werner. He missed 16 big chances last year. That's on Timo. That's not on nobody.
Bro, the amount of chances he missed at
No.
Leipzig, bro, were awful,
Yeah.
so it doesn't surprise me one bit.
He's a volume
drought.
type striker, isn't he? But
Mm.
I'll give him one thing. He works extremely hard for the team, whereas you got this brick of a man. He's a statue. I don't want to say anything because I want Bayern Munich to get him.
Timberlands, mate.
He's a brilliant
Timberlands.
man. Please take him away from us.
He's a
No,
great
don't get
centre back
Jordan
for the
Lukaku
opposition.
instead.
He's a great centre back for any opposition.
Yeah, please take him. You know what? The best thing is any striker who signs for Chelsea, for them to be successful, they only need to score 6 goals in the league.
He's an abject success. 100 million, 6 goals. That's all we need. It's the missing piece of the puzzle.
No.
We could
You
sign
know
a
it's dead
striker.
when Fred has almost outscored Lukaku. Fred has 4 goals? He's nearly on Lukaku's score.
Yeah.
Like, take Fred, put him in striker. He'll do a better job, I reckon.
Hey,
Go for it.
Even Jamal
if Fred
Musiala's got
turns up
goals
at any
with him
other
in the
club
league.
like he did against
Bundesliga.
Tottenham, he was amazing.
I'll tell you
I-
something. If Fred
Yeah.
leaves Manchester United and joins Chelsea,
We're in a relegation battle if that happens.
yes, because you'll see the real Fred come up. Because, I mean,
Fredinho.
would
Right, said Fred.
who would you like to keep at United, Josh? Like, who would you like to keep from the current squad?
Is it the cleaner? He'll be the cleaner, won't it? The kit man?
Holy shit, man.
Probably the bus driver. He's the only one that's got a sense of direction in that club, to be honest.
The tea lady.
Is it the guy who brushes up after the game?
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know who it is.
honestly, I'll keep De Gea.
Yeah,
I'll keep De Gea. I'll keep Varane only if he stays fit. I'd keep
Maguire?
Fred, but he'd be no. He can go
Fred?
and score own goals for Hull. Fred, I'd keep Fred. He'd be good off the bench, and he'd be okay against the smaller, higher attacking teams. He can shut down the ground.
Lecter.
Yep. Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter.
Hello, Clarice.
That's it.
Wan Bissaka?
No. Okay, I'll tell you who I'm getting rid of. All the fullbacks, all the centre backs except Varane.
Mm-hmm.
I'd keep Fred. I'd bring back Donny. I'd keep Bruno. I'd
Okay.
keep Elanga, Ahmad, Cristiano, and the rest can get screwed.
Elanga,
Dude.
Fred,
Oh,
Ahmad,
Sancho, sorry, keep Sancho too.
Sancho. I'm just writing this down to see how much he actually wanted from that team. And then you said Bruno. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you said De Gea as well, right?
Yeah,
Do you
That's
know what I'm
nine
going
players,
about in
Josh.
lads?
the rest can get lost. Like the lot. I mean,
Wow.
okay, you got Pogba, Cavani. Who else is leaving? Lingard most likely. Matic, Mata. I swear I'm missing more people, but that's a big chunk of
Phil
people that.
Jones?
Uh, oh yeah, Phil. Oh, Sir Philip. Sir Philip.
Eric
I think I
Bailly.
fall in love
Sir
with.
Philip.
Eric
Nah,
Bailly,
nah,
I thought
by
he was
yeah.
like the second coming or something. Remember when they were talking about Eric Bailly? What happened to that
No,
guy?
no. You see, he needs to go on some sort of medication because there's no second coming. He's finished after one go anyway. So
He's like
no,
Mr. Glass, isn't he? Somebody touches
he's
him,
a
he's broken.
Yeah.
he likes to break dance on rocks. That's what his problem is. He does one swivel move and he's out for 6 weeks. Like he'll trip over a blade of grass and he's got a hamstring problem for the rest of the year. Like he's biscuits. He's a soggy biscuit. But no, the majority of the team, majority of the problems are leaving at the end of the season. Just I'd say. Not, I'd probably say nearly 80% of the current first team and reserves need to leave anyway. There's only a couple of them that
I've
really put
noticed
in an effort.
I've noticed a pattern, Josh, with like Man United when they like sign players. Like the amount of like, poor injury records like, like Delo has had, Baye's had, it just shocks me, mate. Like, why don't your club do like their due diligence, man? Look at Liverpool, City, us. Do you know what I mean? We do our due diligence, man. It's maddening, man. It's maddening.
It is, and the problem is a lot of these players have been signed and had the inquiries and done the negotiations while they were on the medical table at that time. It's like, oh yeah, here we go. We announce who was that guy? I think Bailly was injured at was he Villarreal last time or whatever La Liga team he was at?
Yeah, it was
I forget.
Villarreal.
Yeah, so he was on the mend he was on the physio after it was like a hamstring issue or something when they did the announcement video. It's like I swear they wheeled him out on crutches and he's like, yeah, thanks, nice to be here, good evening. But yeah, like
Good evening.
good evening. Yeah,
I see
no,
that
I
little
don't
dig
know.
there at us. That little dig at us. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening. Yeah.
Do you think Eric Ten Hag coming in and Ragnick getting a second job is going to help you guys next season?
Look, I saw the
Ralph
I saw the
Rangnick was
news.
part of the project, remember? He's going upstairs, everybody.
By the way, then, and Jamie, did you guys remember 2 days ago in the Discord chat, they were saying he is not going to take this Austria job. Did you guys
Not taking it.
Yeah, the Austrian FA has denied it. Did you guys remember this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was not happening. Ralph's committed to the project, remember? He's committed. So committed that he's got another job. You know,
Yeah, no.
a man who works at a club now who's got lots of money and could just go, Ralph, how much money do you need to do this job full time? Oh no, it's okay. Just go and do another job completely in another country.
He's got 2 part-time jobs. I don't get it.
I don't know.
In football.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess national and like the club and national, there's no sort of conflict of interest, but it's just it frustrates me because he is such a wealth of knowledge.
I'm sorry, man. I just can't.
No, fair. Laugh it up. But Ralph has such a wealth of knowledge. Look what he's done with the RB teams. He's just I swear, this
that's
is.
a theory. Actually, to be fair, that's a theory for another stream about that. We'll bring that up another one. I've got a theory about what's going on at United, but we'll bring that up another day because it's a bit
Yeah,
contentious.
definitely,
No,
definitely.
no, no. I
And
can't answer it. I can't answer it.
something that is making the rounds today, which is very important for us Chelsea fans, is that we have a preferred bidder, Mr. Todd Bowley's consortium, and finally is over. I mean, not
Taken them
100%
long enough.
over, but finally we have something concrete which is gonna at least help us concentrate on the rest of the season. And Todd Bowley's consortium has been made the favorable bidder by the Rain Group, and they're gonna have exclusive talks with Roman Abramovich of the running of the club and all this. Now it's just formalities, I guess, between the Premier League and all these things. And we can finally start talking to players. And yeah, like from the things that you've heard about this consortium, Todd Bowley, and apparently, his LA Dodgers are doing quite well. He's part owner of the LA Lakers as well. And all these guys, like they got money backing them, nothing borrowed from banks or any of that sort as well. But it is still consortiums, and at the end of the day, Sugar Daddy Roman was never going to stay with us for the rest of the season. Is it what do you guys have to say about that? Like, what do you guys think? Or with Chelsea, like, I'm holding my breath for the next 2 years, to be honest. I'm not thinking about anything, but
With American owners, they are practically sort of hot and cold, aren't they? Because you've got the both ends of the spectrum, haven't you? You've got, again, I won't bring it down to us, but we've had FSG come in who are just involved in sports. That's it. Their whole business model is surrounded by, we're here to make money out of building sports brands, and we know how to build sports brands. They did it with the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox hadn't won the World Series for, I think it was about 80, 90 years before they came in. They modernized the game. They got better players. They did everything that they needed to do, the coaches, the analytics, the data, and they just apply it to a different sport. They did it with, they've now gone and bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've now got an NHL team.
Right.
Under FSG, so they're building their sort of empire, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see the Stanley Cup go into the Piston Penguins in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But then you have the other end of the spectrum where you've got, I'm afraid to bring it up, is the Glazers, people who aren't involved in football to an extent enough where they treat it as just another business. And within sports, generally, you don't take a lot of money from your sports brand. You are able to leverage it from the value of what you've got. Where with United, they're taking that dividend, they're taking their money every year, and the club's now in just over $500 million in debt. And, as much as that doesn't matter too much, you don't want your club in any debt at all. It's just it's not how you want to run any business. So I think we have to see consortiums. Is he part of a consortium, is he, Anthony?
Yeah, he is part of a consortium. Basically, it's his like general partners that he has for all his other things as well. And this is more like, it's more targeted towards developing Stamford Bridge, which is important, which needs to happen as well. A club for Chelsea's size, a 45,000 seat stadium is not big enough in order to make any money. And I understand where he's coming from, which is good. And the philanthropic side will be handled by that Swiss billionaire. I can't pronounce his name. If I do, I'm gonna butcher it, and so I have to be respectful for these new owners who are coming in. And then we got the property developers who are going to look at the development of Stamford Bridge and all those other things. And Todd Bowley himself is going to be like the controlling person of the club, together with maybe a new sporting director or maybe a new technical director. Maybe like they're in talks of keeping Marina and Petr Cech as well. I mean, I have no problems with them, and they're pretty good, Marina and Petr Cech, on what they do.
But yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, I would find if I was Roman myself, I would want as many assurances in the takeover that things are kept as fluid and as easy to for the buyover as possible, because
Yeah.
you'd want to keep the best people in post, because they're the ones that have been doing the running of the club. Chelsea have been incredibly successful, and the fact that that all these people came in and said we're going to do renovations, we're going to do expansions of the stadium, we're going to upgrade this and that, they're all just really as chat, because they could easily just go, we've done this and then go back on it. But if there's contractual obligations,
everything is contractual obligations. They cannot get away from it. Basically,
yeah, exactly, and that's I find that's probably, out of all the people that were linked, was it the Saudi media group and the other not so nice people? Was it the other one, the Ricketts as well? Yeah, I find that you probably have the best option of people that have been named. So if you get an extra 5,000-10,000 capacity and then a long-term plan for renovations, great. I feel like you guys are going to be in the good position, and you have enough of an international and national fan base that you'll still have enough money and enough support.
The money is not the problem
to get through the hard side.
Yeah. The money is not the issue for us, because we have no debt. That's the best thing that could ever happen to us. We have no debt. Even though we had debt, we have nobody to pay that debt to, because we can't. I don't know what are we supposed to do. But and at the end of the day, for me, he wanted to buy Chelsea in 2018. That was the main thing for me. So he wanted to buy it. So he already has a plan for it. He knows what to do with it. Like a lot of LA Dodgers fans and everybody, they keep on saying that he's very good. Like he knows what he's doing. He's more data driven. He understands what he does. But you never know, isn't it? Like we have to give them time to see, because at the end of the day, he was the best of the rest at the end of the day, and we just had to choose him. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't like another Roman Abramovich where we wanted to come in. No. Like it is just his consortium was the best out of the lot, whereas the Ricketts had their own problems. Sir Martin Broughton had, I don't know, he wanted to make a fucking cryptocurrency or something. I don't know what he's going to do with that. What sort of nonsense is that? Yeah, wanted to do a Bitcoin with Chelsea or something. And then Bagayuka had no idea what he wanted to do. And he Bowley had a clear plan of what he wanted to do. And I mean, I would love to give him a chance on what he wants to do. And he is with us now. So he's been coming to a few games, trying to watch it as well. It's pretty good. And one thing that I have to say, like to any Chelsea fan who is watching this stream, please do not expect it to be just as same as it was before. It's never going to be that way. It's not going to be.
That's realistic. That's massively realistic. You've got to be realistic in your expectations that these gentlemen are coming in and spending £4.5 billion up front. There's a system in Chelsea's, income model that needs to change with the loan system. They're going to have to get their hands, and their head around, a new format taking Chelsea forward with its financing. That you do create your own finance, of course. It has taken a bit of a hit with the whole Roman Abramovich system. They'll have their own ideas on companies that they'll want to become involved as sponsors, because these guys are all in the same conversations at the very biggest club owners, of companies, that they have each other in the same phone book at the end of the day. Chelsea will be synonymous as, like the London club, even though there's obviously Arsenal, but it is the London club, basically. It's going to be interesting. Again, they may take a while to get it right. And that's what happened over at Liverpool. FSG took a while to get it right. Even though they may be successful with other sports brands, it doesn't happen overnight. It's got to be a case of, we're here now, this is how things are going to be. And like in any big business, wheels turn slowly. And it's just being patient and accepting, as long as you know that the club's going in the right direction, that eventually, the good times come back round again. And that's what's important. I mean, Chelsea, I am glad. I'm glad that, that Chelsea's being owned by, in a way now that's a little bit more sustainable, because I think it has opened up sort of the way that having one person who owns a club and you rely solely on that person's influence to finance, that's not great. You need a bit more checks and balances. There's other people involved. We know women there, so the security of the club is protected. Chelsea should be protected. It's a British club. It's a part of the history at the end of the day. And if someone was to have a change of mind or whatever, that they could just decide, well, I'm no longer interested in Chelsea. I'm just going to let it. I'm not going to let it go under, but I'm going to underfund it. Yeah, I'm interested in something else now. I've now got a basketball team I want to spend my money on. So having a consortium is good because there's a lot of people who have invested who all want it to work.
Yep. And it's not a small investment as well, isn't it? It's 4.5 billion pounds. It's a lot of money. Yeah. And I completely I completely get there were certainly very, very good things that happened with Roman Abramovich, and there is certainly a lot of bad things that happened with Roman Abramovich as well. I would have loved for Carlo Ancelotti to stay a bit more longer. For this is just an example, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this situation, I believe we might have just gotten lucky. This is just me thinking out of the box because I just got to say it. Because if it was Roman who was owning us right now, do any of you guys realistically think that Thomas Tuchel will still be in the job? I don't.
No,
I do.
And again, I think that goes on to what we were saying is that Roman's been well known for he makes the decisions. A man who's made his money in mining, oil, and whatnot. From there, we won't go too deep into that, but he seems to be an expert on football.
Yeah,
and he's not. He knows. He's not been involved in football. He hasn't made his money out of football, but he wanted Shevchenko. He wanted Torres. There's so many players that he was the one who was like, that's my new toy. I'm going to sign him.
Yeah.
Where really, they've like you've just mentioned, they've not worked out because they're not footballing decisions. They're decisions made with the heart kind of thing. A case of, I like the look of that guy, or, Shevchenko's my mate kind of thing. And they should work. They should. Fernando Torres, I mean, again, I felt that when you offered us £50 million, we were robbing you. Yep. That was our Lukaku. The man was done. He was too injured. He wasn't the same player. You've had Andrei Shevchenko. He should work. One of the most prolific footballers in European football history. And he flopped. And that can always happen at any club if they don't fit your system. It's same as the Haaland thing going to Man City. That's another conversation, but there's no guarantee that such a prolific player will work in every single club. It's horses. It's horses for courses at the end of the day.
100%.
Unless, of course, you're Ronaldo. You'll score anywhere.
I'll give you that. Someone's got to score because nobody else is at United, are they? So
no, that's the thing. But I find what you're saying about the consortium there. I'll just backtrack a couple of points. That's the point I was trying to make when it came to the financials. Because of Roman's investment and his one-track mind of doing things, having it so stubborn and in his way, that is what built Chelsea's brand and success. So no matter who takes over now, there is still going to be, I guess, initially a little bit of a shortfall of upfront money.
100%.
Now, they're going to have to obviously work around the loan restrictions and all these sorts of things, but they'll still get a small mid for that. And like I said, the growth of the fan base will ensure, I guess what I wanted to say was a self-sustaining a club model where you can potentially rely on marketing, shirt sales, pre-season tours, get all your money coming into the club, which means there are
social fan base.
Or selling some of the French players as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just say even 10 years ago, if Roman had to leave, they probably wouldn't be in this position they are now to be able to be bought out by someone big with interest. You know what I mean? They had a few trophies, but they were still growing. Worldwide, still growing.
Right now, we are in a more
legacy,
established place, isn't it? But as I was saying, this is something this is the good side of what might happen to us. Where we might see Thomas Tuchel stay with us for a little bit longer than what he would have done with a Roman Abramovich, for an example.
I think he will.
At the end of the day, the hiring and the firing of managers worked for us. But I think right now we need a little bit of stability, and we need to give
Yeah.
the manager right now what he wants as well, to see where he can take us. And maybe he might not win us the league, but at least we will have a little bit of stability for the next couple of years. This is what I think. For me, I wholeheartedly believe that he might be able to win us the league maybe later down the line, but I don't think he would be able to
Tuchel,
do it in the next 2 or 3 years because of the
I
new owners.
disagree.
Oh, really?
Sorry,
Okay.
I actually disagree with that. I'm going to give you an
Uh-huh.
idea, right? Every cup competition, I know it's different, but how many finals has he been in? Like 6 out of 7 or something? He's made
5 out of 6.
yeah.
Been in
So
every
that
final since he joined
yeah,
Chelsea.
exactly. And this is what I'm saying.
Except
Like
this year's Champions League, we've been in every single cup final.
think about it this way. He came from what, Dortmund, PSG, and then Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dortmund have a set model: buy young, sell pre-prime, make a profit. PSG, they have a model. They get FIFA career mode, and they hack the monies on FIFA career mode, and they buy all the big players
They
and hope
play
to win
fantasy
something.
football, mate. That's what they play.
That's right. That's
Exactly
right.
right.
Now, you come to Chelsea where it's kind of like PSG, but a little bit more grounded, a little bit more structured. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tuchel hasn't got his team.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of signings come in. He has Lampard. He has who was before Lampard?
Oh yeah.
Sarri.
We have Lampard
Sorry, he has
players,
Sarri and
Sarri
Lampard
players,
players.
Conte players still with us.
Exactly.
Can't forget Conte.
He's in the situation that literally Ole Gunnar was in his second season. There's still players to get rid of. You keep Tuchel for 2 to 3 years. You give him the players he wants. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to compete with Pep and Klopp in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, competing. Yes.
Yeah.
He's proven to be at least that where Chelsea are now, that third best. But if
You
you
see,
see
I've got
exactly
my,
what
I've
he
got my
thinks,
opinion.
To be honest with
Go on,
you.
Jamie.
Oh, you sure, mate?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say, that's just kind of just been like Thomas Tuchel's whole career, guys. Like, at Mainz, he didn't really get much of the back in because again the finances in Mainz aren't really stupendous. At Dortmund, the whole reason why he got sacked was because of a disagreement with one of the scouts. And at PSG, you got Leonardo, who's it's just poison
PSG is
there.
just
Like, I'm not
stupid.
like that's
yeah,
you know what I mean, bro? Like, there's just so much to go on about that, but that's a story for another stream. And you've got Chelsea where, if you're not, like, putting in the results, if you're not bringing in the trophies, if you're not showing a level of, significant, not overachieving, but, like, progression,
Mhm.
then, he's
You're gone.
gone. So I think, ultimately with Tuchel, if you give him the tools and if you improve the scouting, because let's face it, the scouting at Chelsea in my humble opinion, just watching it as a neutral the past 5 years, it's not
It's
been
bad.
great.
No, just say it, Jamie. It's been horrible. It's bad. It's very, very bad.
Chelsea's the team that I wouldn't choose to watch, if you understand what I mean. Like,
Oh,
I
no.
don't feel at times that the football that I've seen has been entertaining. Like, it's been effective, of course. It's been effective football, but it's not been a brand of football that's like, oh, if I've not watched football or I'm not, who am I going to watch? It's not getting me off my seat, shall we say? And I'll disagree. I mean, I'll nail my colours to the flag. I believe that Thomas Tuchel is just a very good Rafa Benitez. I genuinely don't think that he's going to be a league manager. I think he's an incredible cup competition manager. If you're a club who is desperate for a Champions League, I think if Tuchel's at City, they win the Champions League. That's genuine. I think if Tuchel is at Madrid, I think Madrid are going to the final. I just feel that he's a manager who knows 90 minutes of football. He knows how to set a team up for 90 minutes. That this is the most important time. This is the mentality. This is the setup. This is my game plan. But being a league manager, I mean, we can go the opposite way and talk about Fergie. Fergie in Europe was good. 2 trophies out of 23 years. But with the team that he had, you'd have expected more. He should have more. He had one of the best teams in Europe, one of the best, and as quoted, even as a Liverpool fan, one of the best teams in modern football. For a long period of time, it wasn't like, oh, but we were missing a couple of players. You had a brilliant squad, but with Tuchel, he took PSG, the club we've all just laughed about, who I genuinely don't believe will win a Champions League in my lifetime, continue in the way that they are. You can't just buy names and expect them to work. Oh, we'll get Lionel Messi, we'll get Sergio Ramos, that'll fix the problems. You have to buy the right players, and they haven't. So, but with Thomas Tuchel taking them to the final, that was him overachieving, in my opinion. He took a club that wasn't capable of doing it to a final. And if they gave him enough time, PSG would have a Champions League medal. Because he's the right man for cup competitions. As a league manager, he doesn't fill me with, when it comes to game management, with some of the decisions he's made, especially towards the end of the season. The performances have been dropped down. The results haven't matched, where the club would want to be. I just feel that, I could be wrong, I could be totally wrong, but I just genuinely believe that Thomas Tuchel, even if he came to Liverpool, I don't think that Liverpool would be in this title fight. I'd still think we would probably win the League Cup and all the other ones, but not the title. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt as of yet, because
you've got to.
Because it's only 18 months. The first 6 months we have to completely take it off because none of it was his players. And this year is his first year of experiencing the Premier League, and he only got Romelu Lukaku, who is a brick, and then he got Saul Niguez, who just came here to
talk about a letdown.
He came on holiday, didn't he? He's having a great time, Saul Niguez. I could have done for Chelsea what Saul Niguez has done for you, no problem. I'd have done it for half the money.
Or is that Better Call Saul? I think it's Better Call Saul, guys.
That's it. It was just. But with Tuchel, my opinion is, again, with what I just said, that I'm not slating. What I'm saying is, I feel that as a club, you've got to give him 2 more seasons.
Oh yeah,
minimum
100%.
Minimum 2 seasons. No, exactly. And as Josh is just echoing his points, is that as much as I've just said, I don't think he will. He has to be given the opportunity to prove me wrong. It's and the only people who can do that is Chelsea, and understand that right now, in management availability out there, and because you burn through so many managers so quickly, who is available? Who genuinely will be available? If Tuchel went today, who's coming?
And Antonio Conte might be available.
Again, I mean,
Pochettino.
I think
Get Pochettino. He'll kill it.
I wouldn't trade Thomas Tuchel for anybody right now, because I think he is the best thing that is available for us right now.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there, Anthony. I've looked at, we've talked, I mean, there's more, obviously we're doing loads of streams like this because, we can talk this, but there's a lack of quality in almost every sort of part of football at the moment, and, the lack of quality world-class managers that are available now, there isn't that many. Conte, is being talked about going to PSG. I genuinely think he does go to PSG. I don't think he's going to stick around at Tottenham. Tottenham was just something to do. Because
another holiday in London.
Basically, he's going to go there. And PSG, a Champions League team, he's guaranteed to win Liga. He'll go on and win the French Cup. And he'll be given all the backing, because the Qatari ownership there, ultimately, money's no object. It's... we will buy you the players that you need, and it's a match made in heaven. And only then do I think that PSG have a genuine chance, if they have the right manager, but he'll have to tell them who he wants.
Yeah, but then just to add to that, like, PSG's sole objective is to win the Champions League, but then I still feel like, is Antonio Conte the right man to do it? Because his European Championship record is absolutely horrendous. I'll bet you any amount right now that PSG's first signing is going to be Victor Moses. That
Victor
guy.
Moses, he's going to get the gang back together. Lukaku's coming. Victor Moses, he'll be in for
Alonso. Take him away.
That's it. You'll give him to anyone, won't you? You'd have him at Liverpool.
Nemanja Matic.
Oh my lord, Nemanja Matic. That's why he's leaving
Matic,
United a year early on his contract. He knows what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Matic to PSG, it's happening.
that's what he's gonna do.
He's going to get a few yards of pace back without the speed of the French league.
You know what I mean?
We're going to have hours of fume every weekend when the United fans are going, where did this Matic come from? Where was he at United?
He's going to look like the Serbian Usain Bolt with the pace of that league. Seriously.
Serbian Usain Bolt.
But,
Couple of them yards.
talking more about football, this weekend is going to be absolutely massive. I believe like this Liverpool-Newcastle game, to be honest, I'm not being disrespectful, Dan, but talking about Liverpool is actually a bit boring because you know that
I agree. I agree because it's Liverpool are a bit like Real Madrid and Barcelona were in the pomp of the La Liga. No one watched the game because you kind of went, they were going to win anyway.
Yep,
Real Madrid, Barcelona were playing Sevilla, and it was like, I don't think I'll watch it because there's no. I don't see anything at all. I don't see any shocks.
It's like a thing.
The gulf in quality is massive between the two. They're on great form, Newcastle. They really are. And Eddie Howe's done at the club, big up to them because, to be honest with you, I didn't see it.
I got something ready just for this as well. I just got something ready for this. It's a clap for Newcastle.
There they are. There's the applause for Newcastle.
Well,
Tyneside friends.
Tyneside friends. And I was massively critical when they decided to bring Eddie Howe in because as a manager, I think he has a bit of British tax on him. I think people have this. Oh, he's amazing. The smoke goes up, and he's this that. And at Bournemouth, it was Liverpool's favourite home and away game. Fantastic. He played a brand of football that never changed, and I respected him for that. But it showed weakness. It showed that there were certain teams that you were never going to be able to beat.
And that's exactly the same criticism I had against Marcelo Bielsa as well, because he never changes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
You become too predictable. You need to be unpredictable because if a team can know who you're going to play against, unless that quality is so high, like Liverpool were very predictable 3 or 4 seasons ago. You knew what players we were going to have on the pitch.
Yep.
There was no change. There was no shock that, oh wow, Liverpool are playing Firmino, Salah and Mane up front. There was no shock, but what made that system work was the quality was so high that you just couldn't cope with that system, shall we say. Yeah. But when the system is set up in a way that's... sorry, my phone's about to die. Give me a second. Oh. Just you carry on, what we said.
Oh, no. So then we're coming to Leeds and Man City as well, and I believe this is going to be a bit of maybe a banana skin maybe for Manchester City.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
I don't see Liverpool dropping points, but I certainly do see City dropping points. And with Jesse Marsh in the team and as the manager, they're going to be set up really, really well for this game as well. So
I can hope. I can hope. I can pray.
This is what Dan is waiting for this game. He doesn't care about the Liverpool-Newcastle game. He cares more about the City-Leeds game.
Well, this is the one that I think is going to be the biggest telling point to see if City are really contenders this year. If they're actually going to see it out. I mean, we said it backstage, talking about how the pressure is now on City every single week, and one result, one drop of a point, will essentially, in Liverpool's form, see them get overtaken. So
there's flashes of 18-19, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, do City keep playing their strongest team and just hope they make it to the end of the season? Or does he risk some fairly heavy rotation to look forward to the Champions League? Or, is he willing to sacrifice a Premier League against a team that will run him around the park to try and get the Champions League? That's what I think is the big sort of point over the next couple of weeks because, they're pretty much 3 games a week for the next couple of weeks now. So you have to be very particular in your team picking. So, yeah.
Another game that I wanted to cover off with you guys, like just to ask your opinion, is this is massive, like Watford Burnley. Right?
Must win for Burnley. Must win.
It's a must win for Burnley, isn't it?
I think Watford are dead rubber. The way that they turned up against City the other day, they just look like a team who've just lost all sort of energy. I mean, I know that City are brilliant, but they're just I watched the extended highlights of the game. I didn't watch the match because I was busy watching other ones. But I just saw the way that the players were. They just looked. The defence looks, lethargic. They look uninterested. And I think they're resigned to the fact they're going down. But for Burnley, it's about doing the job because they need these 3 points. They've on a great run since sacking Dyche, which I was very sceptical of. Sacking a manager at this point of the season is brave or stupid, depending on how it turns out. But they've won, is it 3 games now?
Yeah, and Ben Mee is doing an absolutely wonderful job. I don't know what is going to happen afterwards, but he deserves his flowers as well. And I mean, Burnley, as much as I don't want them in the Premier League, I still want them because they are the type of team that would actually throw in a spanner to the works and just ruin it for everybody.
Well, they have a brand of football, don't they? They have their brand of football, and we've heard a lot about anti-football and whatnot. And as much as we can, the purists can get a bit of a bit high and mighty about. Ultimately, they've come out now and they're winning games. They're not just drawing matches and just being awkward. Just being a team that's hanging on. I was critical of the fact that their ownership, which is their old ownership, not the new one, allowed them to get to a European place for. I mean, everyone forgets that Burnley went to Europe,
exactly.
And rather than kicking on from there, they allowed the club to go stale and go backwards. And it's not the fans' fault, and it's not the players' fault, but it's the ownership's fault, and they're the people who make the money out of the club. So for me, if you allow your club to go backwards, you deserve everything that comes to you. You deserve relegation because it's your problem. You've just allowed the club to go backwards. You didn't back Sean Dyche. They didn't give him the investment. They were the club that made the most net profit every season when it came, on percentage-wise, because they never bought anyone.
Well, you got to put your credit. You got to put some credit on Sean Dyche though. Like he punched so far. He punched above his weight for so long, and the fact he got him that far up with a team that were nowhere near in quality to the other teams that were in the Europe qualification that year. But he just did a job. He had a way of playing. It was rigid. It was boring, but he got results. Burnley drawed and made other big teams drop points where at times they didn't need it over the last few years. So. Big credit to him. I hope he gets another job soon because he might be boring, but he did a good job.
I would like to see the man back, to be honest. 100%. I would like to see him. And there is 3 more very important games afterwards. One is Tottenham-Leicester, where it's a must-win for Tottenham as well.
Oh,
and
the battle of the
that's
bottlers.
got 0-0 written all over it. It's too dark.
Exactly. And then we got West Ham and Arsenal, the London derby as well. And then we got
West Ham.
Everton, Chelsea, because Everton needs to get something out of this game in order to survive. And Frank Lampard.
Charity FC.
Yep.
Charity FC's back.
Yep. I've been saying this all week. It's a C in Chelsea stands for charity, but I don't think we will be doing that much of charity this week, to be honest.
You can't be doing anything for charity this week. You've given all your charity out because, honestly, if Arsenal win, they're coming for you. Come outside, Chelsea fans.
Where are you?
Where are you? You know it's coming.
I don't get it, but it's a must-win for Tottenham as well as Arsenal and Everton, I suppose. But I just don't think that they're gonna survive this. To be honest, it's just not realistic in my opinion.
I hope they go down. I hope they go down so badly.
Yeah, they are so shockingly bad.
And West Ham versus Arsenal. I really do wish that West Ham do something well, to be honest, because they might rest a few players because they want to play that Europa League game this
Yeah.
midweek as well, and that's
Yeah.
a real possibility, and they will
It's
definitely
fun for
rest a
that.
couple of players. And I hope they win the Europa League as well, and I wholeheartedly wish them so much of good luck, and I hope that they are able to say we are the second club in London that was able to win a European trophy.
Higher pedigree than
Bigger
Arsenal.
European heritage than Arsenal at the end
I
of the
didn't
day.
say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But
It'll
that
be
is
true
another
though.
yeah,
It's
and that
facts.
is another conversation that we are going to have on another day. Maybe on our Monday stream. That's something that we can have a conversation about that, because
Yeah.
Tottenham's form has been horrendous. Not horrendous. It's like hot and cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
hot, and when they're hot, they're absolutely brilliant. When they're cold, they're absolutely trash. There is
Yeah.
no happy
Yeah.
Yeah,
medium in that
100%.
team, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you want to, we can also add in the Manchester United Brentford game, but I don't know. Just
Brentford 2-1. Brentford
okay.
2-1.
That's okay. It is what it is, I guess. But as I said, this is as I said, like, I think we have reached the end of our stream, boys. But I think
Yeah.
it was a wonderful first episode of the lounge, and so as always, people like, comment, subscribe to our channel. We would be doing more streams like this coming, like, going forward. We are trying to do 2 streams a week where me and the boys get together. There will be more people on the next stream as well. So the next stream would most probably be on a Monday, just after the Premier League weekend, so we can discuss about the weekend plus other general chat and whatever else we are just talking about as well. Like, does Leicester City or Arsenal have a bigger European pedigree if they do win the Conference League or the Europa League? So that's something that we might be thinking about or talking about in the future. And we have more people that who want to join us and do our little streams as well, and some with twisted how would I say, twisted thoughts.
Twisted individuals.
We got some twisted individuals who has some weird takes on stuff as well, and we want to bring that forward to you guys, just to come and have a say, or we have no echo chambers. And thanks Jamie, thanks Josh,
No,
thanks
thanks for having us
Dan.
on. Thank you.
No,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
No
a
worries, bro. No worries.
it was a
Anytime.
fantastic hour and 20 minutes or so having a chat with you boys. And thank you, all of you guys who have been listening to us as well. Hopefully,
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
or watching this back as well. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and next time just try to join us live as well, so we can have a little bit of a conversation with you guys live as well. So anyways,
100%, definitely.
all right.
Good times.
Good times. Thank you. Goodbye. God bless, and good night. And let's go Liverpool, isn't it?
Man United.
That's what we got to say right now. Let's go
We
Liverpool.
need to stop the squads. Need to stop the
Yeah.
squads.
All right, see you boys.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
See you, mate.